Let's talk about Symfony Serializer. When we work with Serializer, I always remember it accepts two arguments. First is a list of normalizers, and the second one is a list of encoders. Normalizers usually transform your data into something less complex, or they may apply some changes on top of existing data. Encoders, on the other hand, take final data and transform it into a specific format like JSON, XML, or CSV. And we can discuss about a lot of features that Serializer has. However, I'm going to focus only on the most important ones, and it should be a good starting point for writing any application. Let's see some examples. Let's begin. I initialized Serializer with just one built-in normalizer called Object Normalizer, and I'm going to set empty encoders for now. As a starting point, I want to show you how normalizers work, and then we add encoders and see what they do as well. Let's create our first example data, which is going to be our product entity. It has two properties called ID and name. We can now initialize product data inside our PHP index.php and set some random values. If we pass no options or format when we normalize data, we simply convert product object into an array. As you can see, I also denormalize data after normalizing it in order to get the object back to the original state. That means we've just created a little cycle. We are converting object into an array via normalize method, and then we convert an array back to the object via denormalize method. Let's now include one encoder into our encoder list, which was empty at the beginning. I'm going to use JSON encoder, which is available from Serializer's library, and that allows us to convert an array into JSON format. As you can see now, I'm executing serialize method instead of normalize, and that means our entry data goes through a normalizer first and then through an encoder. I've specified format called JSON, which is a requirement for JSON encoder to be used when we serialized data. After this example, we see that data being serialized, then deserialized into original state. Let's quickly summarize. We have our simple product object with random data as an example, and we have two options. We can just normalize the object, which turns our object into an array, or we can serialize it, which means it normalizes object first and then converts it into JSON format. I want to show you now some features that our object normalizer can support. Options can be specified as third argument when we serialize or normalize data. First feature I'm going to use is by adding abstract normalizer attribute key with some values. I can specify for my values which properties needs to be selected when we serialize object. As you can see, I've specified only the name property to be picked up from the object, and the rest is ignored. Object Normalizer supports many features. Apart from what I've just showed you, it does support also attribute groups, which are very popular choice. For example, we can annotate our object in such a way that ID name can belong to, let's say, a basic group. Then ID name as well as description can belong to, let's say, an advanced group. Depending on situation later, you specify which group you want to work with when your data is normalized or serialized. Let's not forget we can add our own custom normalizer, custom encoder, or extend functionality for existing ones. We can have multiple normalizers in our list, and depending on format we specify, our returned objects can be different every time to match our requirements. List doesn't end here. We can also normalize arrays, not only objects. And everything I've just described works with collections of objects as well. I encourage you to play with Symfony Serializer for some time and see for yourself if it fits into your next project. For now, enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.